computer. All right, so we're going to do a role play today. I have my lovely assistants, Chastity and Anita. We're going to do a role play today on speaking with buyers, a buyer that may have come from a lead, or from a friend, from a family, from a referral, from prospecting, on social media, from it could be any reason, right? Um, and we're gonna see like how we would handle a call with a buyer. All right, Chassis, are you gonna play the customer or the agent?
I could be the customer.
Okay. All right. So it's gonna be and Chassis, I don't want you necessarily to just go along with me, right? I
Uh-huh.
want you to
Be
treat it
like a real customer.
like a real customer. I'm not looking for you to make this thing easy, but usually you don't have difficult buyers. Usually buyers are individuals that are kind of excited. They're ready to get started, especially first time buyers. They're kind of excited. They just want the information. They might ask a few questions, etc. Um, they might put up a little reluctance. Sometimes we're moving forward with the process and getting over to a lender, but just kind of keep it normal. Not too aggressively with a hard no, but not like super yes, 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 ready to go. You know what I mean?
Right.
All right, so and we it might take us a couple takes, but let's jump into it. All right, ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Chastity, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed and not stressed. Right. So, and I'll just stop it right there, right? Because one thing that I want to show y'all that I did was one. I always assume the person is answering the phone is that person, right? I always do that, right? I know if I'm calling a woman and it's a woman voice that answer, I'm assuming it's them. I'm not saying, "Hey, is Chastity there?" Right? Hey, is John there? I'm assuming that it is that person, right?
Right.
Two, I called and I asked how you were doing, right? Before I jumped in, hey, Chastity, this is Aziz Shabazz with eXp Realty. I didn't jump into that, right? I jumped in. I say, hey, Chastity, how you doing? Right? I asked about you first, right? Because I want to keep this thing warm. And he said, I'm doing good. And he said, how about you? And then I said, blessed and not stressed, right? I said something that what? In turn made you laugh.
Right.
And you laugh even though you know this is a role play. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so now I warmed you up. I warmed the call up. Okay. All right, we're gonna jump back into it. So I'm gonna break these little things down, right? So I said, blessed and not stressed, right? That's what I like to say. Uh, Chastity, this is Aziz Shabazz with the XP Realty. We spoke, we messaged a little bit, and I see that you're interested in purchasing a home in the near future. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Chastity, I just want to ask you a few questions just to kind of see where you're at with everything, get a feel for what it is that you want, and then we'll go from there. Is that okay?
That's cool.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So, what were you thinking? Were you thinking on buying a single family home for you to move into, or were you thinking about buying potentially a multi-unit?
I'm more so interested in a single family home.
Okay, perfect. Single family. All right. And guys, now I'm probably writing this stuff down or taking some notes. And I'm gonna give you guys a little something that I do. I realized if I put stuff into notes, I'll tend to lose those things. I use notes for a lot of things, but when I'm dealing with a particular client, I don't like to have notes in another place for that client. So what I do is, this is just me. I text the client what we spoke about. So now I'm taking notes, but where am I taking notes? I'm taking notes in a text message to the client that I'm going to send them after we have the conversation. So now
Hmm.
every time I want to know what's going on with that client, I can go back to our text message chain, right? I'll do this for my cell phone. I'll do this if they're on Facebook. I'll do this on Instagram. Wherever the conversation has been taking place, I continue the conversation in that same form of communication. Okay.
And
So,
I just wanted to make a point real quick. These buyers that you're talking to, they already pre-approved, right?
No,
Typically. Oh, they
no,
not okay.
no. This is you prospecting. Someone
Mhm.
raised their hand and say they're interested in buying, and now you're
Mhm.
gonna talk with them, right?
Okay.
Or maybe you got a lead through like OpCity or one of those third party companies or something like that, and now they just gave you a lead, but they're not coming pre-approved,
Okay.
right? All right, so we'll jump back into it. You said 3 bedroom. I'm typing that in. Okay, three. You did say 3 bedroom. No, you say single family. So I want to buy a single family home. Okay, so I'm writing down single family, right?
Mhm.
Okay, single family home. All right. And how many number of bedrooms? Minimum number of bedrooms, Chastity. I just want to take all minimums. If we can find something better than that, then we will. But I just want to take all minimums. Okay. So 3 bedrooms.
Mhm.
Single family home. And how many bedrooms did you want in the house?
3 bedrooms and preferably two bathrooms.
Okay, 3 bedrooms is the minimum number of bedrooms that you need. 2 bathrooms. Now, uh, Chastity, when you say 2 bathrooms, I just want to be clear. Do you want 2 full bathrooms or is 1.5 baths okay?
I would say 1.5 is okay.
Okay, 1.5 baths. That's a great question to ask because when you set somebody up on a search or something like that, and they say they want 2 beds, but really they would accept 1.5, well, you might be weeding out a lot of properties. Right? So it's important to
Mhm.
ask that question. Okay, 3 beds, 1.5 minimum. All right, sounds good. Chastity, do you need a basement in this property?
Yes, I would prefer a basement just to get that additional storage area.
Okay, basement is mandatory, correct?
Yes, correct.
See how I'm doing double confirmations with her? Because sometimes people will tell you what they want and then you repeat it and say, okay, got it. And that is mandatory, correct? Then they say, well, it's not. Okay, well, then that's going to open up. But if you have it, then yes, right? But if not, we can work around it. Okay, so basement is mandatory. Does the basement have to be finished, Chastity, or unfinished is okay?
I prefer the basement to be fully finished. Yes.
Okay, so it's mandatory that it has to be fully finished, right?
Mandatory. Yep.
Okay,
Mhm.
because see, she used the word prefer. What
No,
pref-
yeah, it's mandatory that the basement be finished.
right, right. So when like and people will do that. So you use the word prefer, right? Now in
Mhm.
that situation, I would ask because I need to get confirmation because prefer and mandatory are two different things. So I always double check on that. So we got three
Mhm.
bedrooms, 1.5 bath, basement has to be finished. And Chastity, do you need a garage?
Yes, it's
Okay, that
mandatory for the garage.
okay. Is one car okay, or it has to be 2 car?
Two-car garage.
Okay, 2 car garage. Okay, perfect. So I got that. And then Chastity, what areas were you thinking about moving into?
I am interested in being in the southwest side of Chicago. Um, so I would say Chicago Ridge, Evergreen Park, or Beverly.
Okay, perfect. Chicago Ridge, Evergreen Park, Beverly. Got it right here. Okay. All right, perfect. Sounds good, Chastity. All right, so I understand what it is that you're looking for. And how soon did you want to make this move?
I'm looking to make this move within the next 60 days, 60 to 90 days, because I still need to be pre-approved.
Okay, next 60 to 90 days, you still need to be pre-approved. Okay, got it. So that's good that you've already start thinking about the pre-approval process, right? And 60, 90 days is a great time frame, right? Especially if you're closer to that 60 or 90, that 90 would be even better, right? Because it's going to give you some time. So Chastity, I want to first just acknowledge that you reaching out or you getting ready to start this process, you're doing the right thing, right? Because it takes time to close on a house. On average time is 30 to 45 days. Plus, we got to get you pre-approved. Plus, we need time to search for the house, right?
Right.
So you are doing the right thing by starting this process early, right? especially if we're talking 90 days out, that gives us even more time, right? Okay,
Great.
perfect. So now you spoke about getting pre-approved. Now, have you already started talking with the lender yet or no?
No, not yet. I have not. I don't have a preferred lender. Um, I was hoping that you could kind of direct me to someone, because I know I don't want to use my current banking institution. So I was hoping you could refer me to someone else.
Okay. So you just made it real easy for me right there, Chastity. So let me ask you that question again, and you're gonna make it a little bit harder for me. You're gonna be like, well, no, I haven't, found a realtor yet. Kind of reluctant on getting the pre-approval. Just want to see some properties. Got a prop, you know what I mean? We're gonna go that route. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right, so Chastity, you spoke about getting a loan and starting a loan process, right? Have you started that process yet? Have you spoken with the lender?
No, I haven't.
Okay. All right. And but you do understand that that's a very important step in the process, correct?
Yes, I understand.
Okay. Perfect, perfect. So Chastity, what I want to do is I kind of want to break down a few reasons why that is so important. Um Chelsea, what would you say that you value your time and you prefer to be efficient?
Yes, I will say so.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So let me explain to you the purpose of that pre-approval, and which is going to help both you and I be efficient and maximize the potential of your search. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
let's say we went out and we started looking for a home, and we found something that you really like, Chastity, and it just hit the market, right? And now you want to put an offer in on this house, and you need to put an offer in on this house ASAP. But if we don't have a pre-approval, we can't put an offer on that house for it to be taken seriously, and it's likely that you won't get that house, right? Going to shop for a house is like kind of window shopping as well because we don't really know what it is that we can buy, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's not just about, and look, guys, you see how I break that down? Like I broke it into a segment. I gave a story because facts tell, stories sell. So I painted a picture. I painted a picture of where she would be on the negative side of the deal versus on the positive side, where she would be at a weaker position than a stronger position, right? And then I confirmed with her that that made sense, that she visually saw the picture, right? So
Mm-hmm.
now I'm going to say there's a few other things as well, right? See, it's not always about price. See, because sometimes you'll get some people that say, well, I got the money. I got the money, right? So I take that objection away. It's not always about price. See, we can have the money, we can have a decent amount of income, but the what it comes down to is, do we actually want to spend that much money? Right? It
Right.
could come down to budget. See, not just about price. It could be about the monthly budget, the month, how much you want the monthly mortgage to be, which is affected by the interest rate, right? Which also we need to know like where your closing costs stand, right? We may even want to see if we can get you some down payment assistance as well, right? We may be able to negotiate you a seller credit. Also, and between down payment assistance and seller credit, you may be able to bring little to no money to close. Also, Chastity, not every home accepts the same type of loan. Some homes will accept the FHA loan. Some homes will only accept the conventional loan. So we really need to know all of these details in order to know exactly what we should be searching for. So then we can maximize the efficiency of your search and focus on homes that fit your criteria and your loans criteria. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So, with that being said, the next step that we really should be taking is I would like to get you over to my lender, right? When I get you over to my lender, they're going to ask you a few questions. So, I'm going to ask you a few questions before we even get to that point, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So, first question, Chastity, would you say your credit score is above a 580 or below?
It's above 580.
Okay, perfect, perfect. All right. So the next question I want to ask you, are you working full-time or part-time?
Full time.
Okay, perfect. Because lenders require, if you were working part-time, 2 years of employment on the job as a part-time employee in order to actually qualify. So it's good that you're working full-time. That's great. That's 2 out of the 3. Now let me ask you one more question, Chastity. Do you have any bankruptcies in the last 2 years?
No bankruptcies.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Because if you had a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, um, that would mean you would have to wait 2 years from your discharge date, not the file date, the discharge date. And if you had a Chapter 13, you would need to be 12 months of on-time payments before you could buy a house. But you don't have any bankruptcies, so that's good, right? All right, Chassis. So those are going to be some basic questions that the lender is going to ask you. The next step is I'm going to connect you with my lender via a 3-way text message. Before I do that, Chastity, do you have any other questions for me?
How long does it take for the pre-approval process? Is that a couple of days? Is it like right away? How long is the process?
All right, I'm going to answer that question. So, guys, when I was talking, I was going through all of those 3 different questions. I gave you guys a little bit more information just for this video to know how to handle those situations. But either way it goes, if you did say all of that stuff, you're giving value. Okay. And then I asked right here, any other questions for me before we move forward the process? Because I don't want to seem like I'm rushing. I want to answer all of her questions. Now I'm going to answer this question that she just asked me, and then I'm going to move her forward again. So Chastity just asked, how long does the pre-approval process take? Okay. All right, Chastity. So actually, the pre-approval process can move very quickly. We've had individuals get pre-approved within 24 hours, 48 hours, but it just depends on how quickly you move. So the lender can move very quickly. It's just a matter of, you answering the questions and getting any information that they need. Okay. Now, Chastity, I want to let you know this as well. The lenders that I use can do a soft pull on credit, so it will not affect your credit score, right? Just to check to see where you stand. Okay, that makes sense?
Yes.
Okay. I keep wanting to get yeses out of Chastity. So I just say, does that make sense? Because I'm explaining it to her very clearly. So she's going to tell me yes. If she doesn't tell me yes, then I'm going to explain it again and I'm going to get a yes again. Okay. So she just told me yes. That makes sense. Okay, perfect. All right, Chastity. Any other questions for me at this point?
No, no other questions.
Okay, perfect. So now, once we get off of this call, Chastity, you're going to receive a text message with me and the lender attached, right? They're going to reach out to you, call you, ask you some of the questions that I just asked you. So you're already ready for that, right? And then they're going to tell you what the next steps of the process is. Now, as you go through the process with them, I'm going to be checking in, see how things is going. And once we get you pre-approved, see, I'm telling them, once we get you pre-approved, I'm not telling them, well, you might get pre-approved, you might not. They got to check and da-da-da-da-da. Why are you gonna poop in their cereal? You see what I'm saying? Don't take a crap on their dreams, right? Once we get you pre-approved, right, then we'll know exactly what we can do, exactly what houses, and then we'll get the process started. All right, sounds good. Ready to go?
Yep, sounds good.
All right, all right. So you got my number. Make sure you save it. Connecting you guys now. We'll speak soon. All right.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. And you see, I'm still saying, all right, okay. Like I'm not trying to get off the phone unless she wants to get up, because she might have something else. So she says, sounds good. That's like a double, triple confirmation, right? All right. All right, Chastity. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.
You
Bye.
too. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye. And then you hang up. Okay. So now you get off the phone and you set up the 3-way text message, right? So you don't want to jump in and just rush people. Listen to this video back, right? Because I think it'd be a great resource. And it takes time, it takes practice to do this, but you know, you probably have it down in 5 or 6 calls.
Right.
Yep. All right, ladies. Any questions for me on what we just discussed?
No, no questions.
Okay.
At
Yeah.
least nothing that I could think of right now.
Okay. How about you,
Yeah.
Anita?
Not really. Because I think we went over this before, me and you, because we had did the little role playing.
I think we
Um,
did. Yep.
mhm.
All
So
right.
I
Sounds
wrote it
good.
down again. I'm like, wait, hold on. Chapter 30 said bankruptcy. I said, okay, we did go, but it's already. So yeah, I think it's pretty straightforward. It's just basically basic questions on the surface, then get over to the lender.
Yeah, then get over to the lender, right? And don't go negative with it. Don't go negative in the call. Oh, you might get approved, you might not.
Right.
Like stay positive, right? Explain the information, be confident, be sure, right? Be clear. Don't don't get nervous and just start talking fast.
Mm-hmm.
That's me.
Because now you're just a fast talker, and now because you want to make it seem like you're a professional, and you're afraid that people don't know that they might know that you don't know everything, so
Mhm.
you just try to rush through it, explain it, and make it sound
Yeah.
like it's so complicated that that's going to make you a professional because you made it sound complicated. No, it's going to make you sound like a sleazy car salesman,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I do
Or
always tell myself before I get on the calls, don't speak fast, slow down, speak clear and concise so they can understand what you're saying. Don't rush through it.
and get confirmation that they understand as you go along,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
right? Give like they say, and when you go in a studio, in the music studio, when you rapping, Lil Wayne say, "Let the beat breathe."
Let that beat breathe. Mhm.
Yeah, so give it some time, like give it some space, give it some air,
Yeah.
Yeah.
enough for them to be able to jump in. And when they jump in, don't overtalk them. When
Mhm.
they jump in, you say, "I'm sorry, go ahead."
Right.
Right? I'm sorry. Go ahead, finish that. And a lot of times they say, "Oh no, I was just agreeing with you,"
Yeah.
or "I was just saying yes," or something like that. But you're giving them these moments where they can object, where they can ask a question, right? So just let the bee breathe, and then always ask, "Does that make sense?" And now you segregate it. So now they're educated, being educated along the way. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Because if not, you just sound like you're. I'd rather somebody say, "You know what? I'm fumbling over my words today. Let me just slow down and re-explain it." Versus like just trying to rush through it and make it sound complicated, and because people are getting nervous, and then all of a sudden it sounds like they got an attitude.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you the one who want the business. Why you got an attitude with me? Oh, because I'm
Right.
asking questions and you don't know the answers to, or so now you're gonna get an attitude. Well, if we don't know the answers to a question, what do we say? That's
Let
a
me get back. That's a great question. Let me get back to you with
That's
that.
a great question. Let me get back to you with that. That's a great question. I believe I have an answer for it, but I want to be
Okay.
sure
Right.
to make sure
Yeah.
I'm giving you accurate, 100% accurate information, right?
Right.
People will appreciate that.
Yeah, they do. They do. They will appreciate that more than you just telling them a lie.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or
Or like, I don't know.
false truths, inaccurate information, and you
Yeah.
hoping that it was
Because
right.
they sure will throw it back in your face.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they will.
I hold you to it. That's what I mean by that. That's what I mean by that. Like, I don't want, and you said it. I don't want no one to come off because it's almost like a salesman. Like you're not selling anything, but you are. So it's like I feel like you have to be careful with your words. You have to get. So I don't want to come off as unprofessional or not knowledgeable about what I'm talking about. I feel like
Hmm.
that. Well, let me pull it out now. She don't know what she's talking about. So
And,
that's
and
my fear.
and think about this. When I just did that call, that role play with Chastity, and I was
Mhm.
the agent, did I sell anything? Was I trying to convince?
Mm-mm.
I was I was educating and I was painting
Yeah.
pictures. And I was just guiding through the we don't sell houses. The we didn't give the money for them to buy the house. We didn't build the house. They were going to buy the house regardless, with or without us. They were going to buy something. So all we technically do is guide them through the process. We didn't have to convince them. It's shelter. They need shelter. You see what I'm saying? That's a need. A house is a need and it's a want, right? Some things in life are just wants and we don't need them, but people need shelter. And now they have to make a decision. Do I rent? Do I buy? Do I stay in my mama basement? Right? Or do I live under the viaduct? Right?
Right.
Okay.
They got like it's a choice, but everybody needs some form of shelter, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I think we can end it right here. So I'm gonna stop recording. Um, Whoever watches this video, come back to it, start it over, and watch it again and again, over and over from the beginning, because this is all that I really do. It might vary a little bit from this, but pretty much this is how my phone calls go. I've never really sat down for a buyer consultation. We should be getting those individuals straight over to the lender via a three-way text message. That's very important. I don't really do email unless they really prefer that. I do three-way text message. Text messages have the highest open rate of any type of communication, right? All right, let's get it.